So this is it. This is the video where I finally get to prove that Manny Calavera is gay. If this game were modern, everybody would know this already. There would be speculation, cross-communication on the internet, and Manny's closet wouldn't stand a chance. But this game predates the internet. And somehow the assumption that it's really about Manny following after Meche has remained intact. Finally, we've arrived at the place in the game that makes clear Manny's relationship with women, or the fact that metal detectors are a lot more interesting to him than women are. Once you see that Manny is gay, it makes it so much deeper and a little bit painful even. And it's been missed out by even the people who remastered this game. Even these guys, they completely thought that Manny is in love with Meche, like everybody thinks he is.
I know that statue's supposed to mean something about justice, but I don't know.
So this statue of justice, or is it?
Could be a statue of a famous Olympic gymnast, I guess.
Justice is standing over the MC Escher labyrinth that contains both the prison and the sprouted people. It's almost like it's saying that sprouting is a form of justice, that they didn't just randomly hit some bad luck. They were destined to be flower pots.
Maybe it's supposed to be an angel on a subway train.
I think I like that interpretation better. Instead of justice, mercy. Mercy for travelers through dark places. So this is not the Hindenburg. It is, however, the blimp of loneliness. So I found this book, The Well of Loneliness, in Dark Fall Lights Out. I was surprised it was a real book, so I purchased it. Turns out it's a classic of queer fiction. It's an early 20th century book about a young lady coming to grips with her identity where she has no words to describe herself other than queer and nobody else that she knows who is like her. And it reminds me a lot about Manny Calavera here. So that could be where I get the idea to call this ship the blimp of loneliness. In Manny's case, it's this gloomy, hulking, dark, impossible to ignore, and impossible to reach monstrosity of social rejection that makes him feel small and insignificant.
Hey, the new blimp is already in full operation. Let's just hope they fill it with something non-flammable this time.
See? Not the Hindenburg.
It only goes to the land of the living, and there's nothing for me there.
Now, why is that, really? Is it because he's a criminal? Was he so deep into organized crime or part of some gang that everything he did was transactional and exploitive of other people? And is that why he's so alone? But mobs and gangs have a really strong sense of family, or at least their own people. It wouldn't explain why Manny is so alone. There has to be a different reason. Would you look at these beautiful ladies up here? This Art Deco tower. Hey, that's the same wall design as the Robomat. It's easy to think that these cats here are just part of the cat racing track, but it seems to be an older Aztec design. I think that's the Jaguar. It's quite a mix of old and new architecture here. The jaguar had significance to Aztec people. So here we are visiting Carla. She always reminds me of that Beatles song, Lovely Rita Meter Maid.
Wow, Manny Calavera. You never come up here to see me anymore.
Well, I thought you could use the company with everybody gone for the Day of the Dead.
In that case, Manny, why don't you stick around until 6? That's when I get off.
This early in the conversation, and she's already talking dirty.
A lot of paperwork.
A lot of passengers. Everybody's back home but you and me.
Everything here is conspiring to make Manny lonely and seek company. The Inez call shows us that he's not trying to be loyal to Meche.
Can I try out your metal detector?
What's your sudden interest in metal detectors, Manny?
All these conversation options are lies, but this one is kinda the truth. Can you picture Manny wearing a utility belt? That wouldn't really work. He doesn't have coins or a couch, he just drinks his gold. And this is the biggest lie. To collect anything, you need to care about things. You need to stay in one area long enough. Not Manny. This, I'm not gonna tell you, is as close to honesty as Manny gets in year 2.
I just want to borrow it for a secret project.
Well, I'll show it to you when I'm on break. How's that?
When's your break?
Dawn.
Oh, that's too late. I'm shipping out tonight.
Yeah, right. I've fallen for that line too many times.
Wait, are they pretending to ship out to sleep with her or to avoid sleeping with her?
What's the shuttle waiting for?
Oh, they're just cleaning it, but they're very thorough. We run a tight ship here, you know.
So you can see the blimp of loneliness up here, and under it you can see the words LOL. I'm sure it's supposed to mean land of the living, but doesn't it look more like it's laughing out loud at Manny? Reminding him that he's got no one to love him, alive or dead. And they're up here in the frieze too. You can kind of see them carved into stone all around the wall.
Busy night?
Hardly. Everybody's gone home for the holiday already. This place is dead, and I'm bored, Manny. Bored.
Oh, the pressure to perform.
Why don't you come by the club anymore?
Well, to tell you the truth, Manny, it's your little coat check girl. All that bubbly energy, I just want to strangle her.
I've tried that. It doesn't stop her.
It doesn't bother me that this joke is a sexist joke. Manny isn't supposed to be a nice guy. He's supposed to be a mobster working off his time. And his relationship with women is not exactly healthy. If you look at Meche and Inez, and soon-to-be Carla here, he's got issues. What does bother me is that Lupe continues to be happy and bubbly after being assaulted. She continues to try to improve Manny's profit margins with her system. She even continues trying to get some kind of relationship, an honest feeling going for him. And she should just not do those things. She should be more like Manny and use other people instead.
I think it's time for your break. We could slip in the back for a little drink. You can tell me all about your job, the danger, the metal detectors.
That back room's all business, Manny. And so am I.
I think Manny does all his business in the back room.
What kind of business goes on back there, Carla?
Strip searches. And you don't qualify.
Why don't I qualify for a strip search?
Manny, I agree it would help pass the time, but we have procedures and rules here. And you never know when they're watching. I can only strip
Who, me?
search people when a regular search turns up nothing.
Hey, It's worth a try.
Ooh, I love this part.
She really wants to undress him. What does she expect to see?
Sir, if you will, please place all of your belongings on the security desk.
Is that supposed to be his scythe? Drinkable
Oh,
gold.
you're clean. Rats, Manny, I almost got to strip search you.
I want to seriously consider Carla's excellent idea to strip Manny. Manny is based on La Calavera Katrina, the wealthy, overdressed skeleton. If you took off her clothes, she would be neither wealthy nor overdressed. She would no longer be La Calavera Katrina. She would lack an identity. So where would Manny be without his clothes? Would he be as free as this bird? Or I think he would be no different than this heap of bones.
It's an ugly pile of bones, like me.
He is a bag of bones. It's the bag around his bones that gives him structure, that gives him identity. Now, I don't think it's correct to call Manny a stuffed shirt. That is going too far. He clearly has a strong cultural identity, regardless of the costume he puts on. He actually has a lot of depth to him, no matter how shallow he acts. There used to be a saying in America, I don't think anybody says it anymore, the clothes make the man. It's never been completely true. It's always been the case that humans make the clothes rather than the other way around. But it's true in Manny's case. The clothes do make the Manny. This is one of those puzzles that would take some trial and error to figure out if you were playing this legit.
Well, maybe just a sip.
So, I'm with Carla here. I want to see what Manny is made of.
Sir, if you will, please place all of your belongings on the security desk. You sure you're not packing anything else?
Nothing that would set off that thing.
Then, sir, I'm afraid you'll have to step into the back with me.
Would you look at the look she gives him?
Rules are rules.
And of course, with my dad
Suddenly
being in
he's
the
not an
military, we
expert at
moved around
flirting
a lot.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one town we moved to when I was in the first grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only industry in the area was figs. Acres and acres of fig trees everywhere
don't
you
say.
looked. I myself never really cared for figs. I always liked dates more. Or prunes. Don't you just love prunes? They have such a great texture. They're all wrinkled up like my Grandma Hedwig's face. Oh, poor Grandma Hedwig. She was always forgetting things. I remember one time
Hedwig,
back
that's
when I
an
was
interesting
6. Or maybe I was 7. No. I had to be 6 because
Probably
Mr.
you were
Rufus
7.
was still alive. Now there was a
Mr.
good
Rufus?
dog. Mr. Rufus. He was such a sweet little puppy. We didn't care that he was deaf.
bet.
He was as deaf as they come, but he'd still try to bark. And it would come out sounding like a cat,
Have you ever
coughing
eaten
up
bark?
a hairball.
It's not that bad.
Which our cat often did. He had such long hair. I don't really like long-haired
Ooh,
cats, do you,
ick.
Manny? They're just so... I like short-haired
No,
cats.
because the taxidermist charges extra for them.
They seem less stuck up. People think I'm stuck up sometimes, believe it or not. No, they really do. I don't know why.
Actually, I thought you were pretty stuck up the first time I met you.
I guess it's because I'm so shy. I was shy all the way through high school. I never went to a single dance.
I was in
Can you
detention all
believe
the way
it?
through high school.
Oh, don't get me wrong, the boys would ask, but I'd just run away. My mom said I could have been
Running away?
homecoming
That
queen if
sounds
I'd
pretty
just
good right
smile
now.
once in a while. She always said, a smile is the most important part of any outfit. Well, maybe
Moms are
I would
always
have
right.
smiled more, Mom, if you hadn't drank so much. Was I supposed to smile when the cops called us in the middle of the night to tell us to come get you out of the drunk tank? Maybe if I had smiled more, Daddy wouldn't have left us. We'd be together right now. You,
really have to
me,
go.
Daddy, and Grandma Hedwig, and Mr.
really have to
Rufus.
go.
And I'd be wearing my homecoming
That
queen
reminds me,
crown
I need
and
to call my
eating
bookie.
figs and I'd... Oh, Mother! I'm so sorry!
Maybe you want to be alone now. Oh, God. Don't cry. Here, let me hold that metal detector for you while
And
you
here
cry.
comes the most important
Did you
scene
just come
in the
back here to
game.
ask to borrow my metal detector?
If you say no, it'll just start again. So Manny has to be honest or be terribly punished. Watch closely, because we learn something very important about Manny. It's almost as if we can see past his suit.
Yes.
What is it with you in this thing? I'm sick of it, Manny. If this is all you want, you can fight the cats for it. Why is it all men are after the same thing? Except you. The only woman you care about is that Calamar dame, and she split on you. I don't know what she did to you, but you know what? I'm done trying to figure it out, pal.
Carla.
So did you catch that? All men are after the same thing, which is women, except Manny. So Manny doesn't like women. Now Carla's theory is that Meche did this to him. But let's take a look at what Meche did to him. First, Meche flirted with him.
Mr. Calavera, there's no ring on my finger.
And then she flirted with him some more.
Well, I could do something bad right now if that would help.
And finally, Meche got upset that Manny didn't seem interested in her.
I'm sorry I let you down, Manny.
But isn't that exactly what just happened with him and Carla? Meche thought she disappointed Manny. And Carla thinks the same thing. She thinks she disappointed Manny by not being Meche. That's because Carla is fooled by Manny's costume. He's wearing the costume of a straight romantic lead. Now Rick was desperately trying to forget his love, and he banned anything that reminded him of her. Manny doesn't let anyone forget that he's looking for Meche. He asks about her every day. And to prove that he's straight, he sets up dates with every woman he sees. He sets up a date with Inez. He even flirted with Olivia. He can't fool them into thinking that he's interested in them, but he can fool them into thinking that he's hung up on Meche instead. Now, do you want to see the real Manny? Do you want to see Manny remove his costume? Take a look at this.
Manuel, I am sorry to hear that you have not heard from your Meche. You must be patient and let your heart remain open. If it is meant to be, you will someday be reunited.
Ha! He still thinks I'm in love with her.
Manny just flat out tells you that he's not in love with Meche. Believe him. Oh, he's got Lupe fooled. She's quoting Casablanca because she picks up on the Rick act, but she doesn't realize he's using the "I don't socialize with the customers" line to avoid Meche herself. We saw him in year 1 tell Salvador he's not in love.
Manuel, are you in love with her?
Love? Love is for the living, Sal. I'm only after her for one reason. She's my ticket out of here.
Get lost in the woods, soldier on, and then finally step over a fence that he then fell over. And then in year 2, when Meche appears, he walks away from her. She's running away, he went that way. He's not just walking away from her, he's walking towards where he can see the fence. So, what is he without his costume? And there you have it. Manny's relationship to Meche is the same as his relationship to Carla, or Inez, or even Lupe over here for that matter. Complete mask-wearing, do it for a little while and then get out of town kind of a thing. And that is also why Manny is stuck, why he can't go on his own 4-year journey. He doesn't get a ticket because he didn't live a good life. He's never been true to himself. He's always worn a mask. He's always stuck in the closet. And that's why there is this symbol up here, like, don't be stuck here, man. And that is why he is known to have not lived a good life. That's why he's merged with La Calavera Garbancera, who betrays herself by putting on a costume. Now, don't you think that finding out that a classic video game character that everybody thought was straight because he's so deeply in the closet, even everybody that plays him thinks he's straight, is actually not? Don't you think this discovery is worth liking this video or subscribing or sharing? I mean, I know I can't afford the best video editing software and microphone technology, but isn't the content worth something? Even if you just want to steal it and make your own video that's better than mine, that's great. Just refer back to me so they know I did it first. Anything. Guys. At least the crickets appreciate me.